It is very difficult to be both a Christian and a critical thinker at the same time. Let me break it down to you. You see, as a Christian, the moment you start to tap into your critical thinking skills, you start to ask additional questions that you didn't ask before. You start to read for yourself instead of somebody else reading it to you. You start to get your own interpretation through your questions and critical thinking instead of somebody else giving you their interpretation and saying this is what you got to believe. You start to ask questions, and at some point you are no longer a Christian because of your critical thinking. That's what happened to us. You know, they are so quick to tell us former Christians, former religious people, you need to read the Bible. You need to pick up. How the hell you think we got to this point? We was reading the Bible. Only difference is we start to ask questions. For example, think of the Garden of Eden. We all know the story. It was a tree of both good and bad and the tree of knowledge, right? You just skim through that as a Christian, but critical thinking, you go, well, why would God put that there in the first place? Don't make sense. Why would you want to tempt these people, all-knowing God, with this devil? Why would you allow the devil to be here too with this? Why? I wouldn't give some kids, my kids at that, some powdered donuts and dip one of them in cocaine and say, don't eat the one with cocaine, sit it there and walk out the room. Who does that? Think of the flood. The world that God created was so wicked he had to flood it. And it's back wicked again. Why? Explain that. The whole thing with Jesus got to be the sacrifice because of the devil. Why don't you just get rid of the devil? Done. That's what happened when you use critical thinking. You ask the questions that you couldn't dare ask in church. Which is why I say when you start to ask this, peace out to Christianity. You can't be both.